your love, girl, there's no more. Tell me what you been playing. Oh, and I know you don't want nobody else. No, no, no.
What's going on, y'all? It's your main man 5, and I'm back with another album reaction for y'all. First and foremost, shout out to Peter for recommending this one. As y'all know, we've been on a roll of checking out all of Sleep Token's catalog. Well, their albums. We've listened to all of their albums. I'm sure there's a bunch of songs and unreleased and blah, blah, blah that we haven't gotten into. But for the sake of their album, we're finally getting into their very last and their most recent one. So today, if you haven't read the title, today we're going to be listening to Even in Arcadia. Peter used his monthly pick the last 2 months for me to get back into Sleep Token, and I absolutely loved just the maturity and clarity and hopefulness of listening and take me back to Eden. So that makes me very interested to hear what Even in Arcadia would be about. So I'm not even going to talk too much. I'm just wondering if it's going to continue to follow the theme the way the first 3 albums have. I'm assuming since it has, this one will have something to show like the most mature and relevant version of where Vessel is as a person and just as a human being now. So I'm not going to talk too much, man. Let's just do it. Shout out to Pete. Let's get into it. The first song is called Look to Windward.
Just as my form starts to fission, losing this war of attrition. Just as I drift away, will you hold this eclipse in me? Will you hold this eclipse in me? Will you hold this eclipse in me? Eclipse in me, with the shadows longer to me than a light, moving so slow I could die. Say you can let me say, will you hold this eclipse in me? Will you hold this eclipse in me? Eclipse in me. Will you hold this eclipse in me?
That's that shit right there.
I've got eyelids heavy enough to break diamonds. You pray for sound and I pray for silence. Damn right faithless, I can't deny. You'll find me with half a mind to get violent. Over till I say it's over. No little angel sitting on my shoulder. So give me the edge of a blade and a time and a place, and I'll leave them cold and pushing up borders. Walking with God, so merely stumbling forth until there's fire at the gates, until I fall to the floor. You know I live by the feather and die by the sword, and I will sunder the earth only to burn the reward. Even in this garden of gardens, I am the god of the gaps. I am the demon of Sodom. I am the blood of an angel, the fate of the fallen. Nobody knows where I came from, even I have forgotten. And how can I already lose my way like this? Drowning in burning brighter bits, even at stratospheric depths, this vertigo. I used to know myself. Oh, and you used to know me well. Oh, and I wish that I could leave myself alone. You wish that you could make me.
Shit. Oh, nah. All right, so I guess to put it plain, when I listen to that song, it kind of gives me like two different meanings. And as with a lot of music, and especially with a lot of their music, the more that I listen to, there's a lot of different pathways that your interpretation can lead you to. But depending on your perception and the way that you like to follow themes in music and capture stories, it can take you to different meanings altogether. So to me, you can look at that as when we listened to the last album and I talked about, you know, you have that sense of maturity where you get to a point where you feel as though you just want to make a change. You don't want to be the person that's constantly stuck in limbo and afraid of the possibility of being stuck and being stuck in this everlasting cycle of me and you going back and forth, us needing each other, then us losing each other, and us feeling like we're going to die without each other, but then finding our way back to each other and having false belief in positivity and prosperity in this relationship, just for us to lose it again and go through the same cycle over and over. He got to a point where instead of just continuing in that hamster wheel, he wanted to make a case of, look, I understand what's going on with you. I obviously know you the same way that I know myself, and I know all of the things that you truly need to heal, all of the things that you're truly seeking through all of the destructive behavior that you ensue, not even just about yourself or just into our relationship, but the way that you carry yourself in life. I know the things that you need, but I just need you to be able to be honest with yourself and with me, because even if it's not meant for us to be together, I would much rather you find peace and happiness and tranquility within yourself, even if that's without me. I love that line, as y'all know, where he was like, I will pour down heaven from the sky just for you to be happy. Get into that space where you're mature enough to make the sacrifice play, and knowing that if you truly love somebody, you will want them to be happy, even if it doesn't involve you in their lives. And even if it feels like it kills me, I would do anything to bring that joy to you. Cool. But like I said, you get to that place, but we're all still human. You fall back into those cycles. You fall back into, questioning yourself, because your mind plays tricks on you. Like we talk about, your mind always try to put you into these cycles and making it seem like it's trying to protect you from danger. And maybe scientifically on some level it is. It tries to hold you back from taking risks that your brain is unfamiliar with or perceived that could be harmful to you. So through that, it takes you back through those cycles where you're feeling depressed and when you feel like you can't live without that person, where you aren't feeling as mature and uplifting as you were yesterday. So that song could be taken as him falling back into that cycle of what it's like to be manic, going back to this place will become your tomb, and what his mental status was with the suicide attempt in that album. And sometimes you revert back to the worst versions of yourself on any given day. Trying to be better, trying to live a better life, and trying to go to better places is an everyday struggle. You're constantly going to continue to work on trying to be that person. And unfortunately, everybody has their days. Now, that's one. But two, that also could be the first time we're really getting a reply from the girl that he's talking about throughout the course of these albums. He talks about how she's just like him in a lot of ways, but all of her negative traits makes it damn near impossible for her to see the positivity in the opportunity to be happy between them. So that song could be from her perspective, letting them know that I wish I could leave myself alone. I wish that I could be like you are. I wish that I could be happy. I wish that I could do all of these things. And that would track for me as well, because based on the way that he explained it, she deals with her trauma to the point that she's damn near manipulative because of her pain. And she fully knows exactly what the issues are. She knows what her problems are. And she knows what she does as far as sending them back through these cycles. But because of what she's been through and because of where she is personally, she doesn't feel like she has the same strength that Vessel has to be able to fight back and get to a better place. So you can look at it from both of those perspectives. She still feels like she's in a destructive era. Some of the metaphors they use was like, what the hell was that line that I really, really liked? Basically talking about like something of being a wrath in Sodom. And because if you know the stories of the Bible, which were heavily displayed in the last album, you know, God ended that complete world because of all of the sexual immorality. So him using certain metaphors of the destructive nature that is taking place inside of her, she wants to be able to leave that stuff in the past, but because of how she feels and the way that she's dealing with what she's been through, all she knows to do is to destroy everything in her path, even if it costs her own happiness, because at a baseline, that feels familiar, that feels safe. So you can choose to look at it from both of those perspectives. I guess it really just whatever piques your fancy the most, but yeah, you get what I'm going for. This next one is Emergence.
Well, you were late in verse, living on a promised word. Well, I am the rose you relinquished again. You and I are down head first in another world I had. I have a feeling we're close to the end. From my Are you caught out of my nano? Red glass on my light bulb, dark light on my coat, just sapphire in my white gold. Burst out of my chest and hide out in the vents. My blood beats so alive, my bite right through your lens. It's midnight in my mind's eye, drowning out the daylight. Godspeed to my enemies, to be asking for that call sign. You know the behavior, canines of the savior. Glory to the legion, trauma for the neighbors. I've got solar blessed for your dead god, space dust for your fuel rods, dark days for your solstice, dancing through the depths of hellfire on the winds that started from within. My blood beats so alive, my tear right through my skin. So tell me what you meant by living past your half-life, in lockstep with the universe and your well-versed in the afterlife. You know that I'm sanctified by what's below, no matter what you do, no matter where you go. You might be the one to take away the pain and let my mind go quiet. And nothing else is quite the same as how I feel when I'm at your side. Come on, out from underneath who you were. Come on now. You know that it's time to
The saxophone? Damn, that outro was beautiful. So I feel like, yeah, okay. This album is taking it a step further. It's telling the perspective of both parties involved this time, or at least it is to me. It's giving the way that the song went, and it's going back and forth through narrative. It's going through the points of, like I said, whatever narrative that you're following through the album particularly, but it's showing that version of Vessel they just want you to be at peace. They just want you to fight your way out of everything that you've known. That line that literally explains what emergence means. Come on from out of underneath who you were. That's a very deep line in itself, because at the end of the day, all of our trauma shows up as a false narrative of who we are, a false personality, a false representation of who we are to the world. And that trauma and all of that weight and all of that baggage literally weighs you down to a point that you feel suffocated under this false facade of who the world thinks you are. He sees the absolute best in this woman. And I want you to come from up out of there. Let all of the baggage go, let all of the trauma go, and try to just do your best to release all of those things, so we can at least get to a point where we can figure out what some reprieve from all of the pain and heartache that we've dealt with throughout our lives feels like. Because at the very least, if this is truly what I think it is, we deserve to have a fair shot at it. If we let go of everything that holds us back from giving each other all of the love that we deserve from one another, why wouldn't we do that? But I like that, he's letting her know how much he loves her and saying, I want you to come embrace me, and the way that he feels when he's around her. But I love the way that she pushed back by talking about, she speaks back through the narrative of what it's like to be influenced by your trauma, to be influenced by that false narrative, and letting it talk through her and letting you know that, all of that sounds good. You might be the one to take away the pain and let my mind go quiet, and nothing else is quite the same as how I feel when I'm at your side. Those could be the true representations and feelings piercing through that veil. I feel like every now and again, even when you're somebody who tries to remain cold to the world and give off this false narrative of who you are just to protect yourself and stay in a bubble that you're familiar with, there's always going to be those small signs that show like, I don't want to keep living like this. Because even if it's what's normal to you, it still hurts. It's still a constant reminder of everything that brought you to this point. So it hurts. It makes you sad. And it's not how you want to be. It's just how you feel like this is the hand that life has dealt you, and that's all that you know how to deal with. But I like that it's piercing through the veil and having her speak, from letting them know that, being with you and hearing you speak about me and the way that you view me and the way that you see where we could go. Those are the things that make me interested in what it would be like if I fully let go and embrace what we have. I like that the negativity is speaking through a lot of the lines. And I like that first of all, the fact that he's switching it up and rapping is a whole different topic, but we'll get to that towards later in the album. But I love that her speaking through the pain is just all of his rap verses. So you're well versed in the afterlife. I'm sanctified by what's below, no matter what you do, no matter where you go. Yeah, he's speaking definitely. All of her darkness and all of her pain are represented through his rap verses, through the intensity, through the lines and choices that he used to say certain things. Godspeed to my enemies that be, the behavior. It's that savage behavior. It's that feeling of constantly being on the defensive and feeling like you have to fight any opportunity for somebody to get the best of you. If Vessel is trying to love her, all of the trauma that she's dealing with internally is letting her know that you have to fight back against that. Don't let him get too close to the point that he could be another person that's going to hurt you in your life. No matter all of these pretty words that he's choosing to use towards you, that shit's not real. And I like that they're using it to jump back and forth. It's like them having a conversation through just one narrative. That's kind of crazy. Well, that's if you choose to analyze music and stories the way that I do. But, let me know if that makes sense.
Well, are you gonna dance on the line with me? It's not a game or a fantasy. say. And I don't even know who I used to be. But nothing is the same, and some things have to change now. Are you gonna dance on the line with me? You know it's not a game or a fantasy. And I don't even know who I used to be. But nothing is the same, and some things have to change now, now, now. Clawed out of my woodwork, bolts out of my blue depths, in and out of my dreamscapes. People acting different. One look at my past self, double taking my cash flow, apologizing for shit that frankly I stopped thinking of years ago.
Right.
You know I deliberate on cutting out the demons. I still need a dark side, they just need a reason. The passage of the hours into rushing through the seasons, falling through my mind with the leaves on the tree. So keep me alive, keep me believing that now is the time to take it or leave it. Gave away all my blessings, lift off, weightless, torn apart by the true believers who turned out to be fake. Are you gonna dance on the line with me? You know it's not a game or a fantasy. And I don't even know who I used to be. And nothing is the same, and some things have to change now. Are you gonna dance on the line with me? You know it's not a game or a fantasy. And I don't even know who I used to be. But nothing is the same, and some things have to change now, now, now. And you the guardian angel, hacking into my brain cells, stepping up from my future, uploading my true self. Did I get this far for nothing, or are you the reward? Guarding hands in this hell house, opening news if this is love. And I am out of hesitation, head over heels at elevation, walking an inch above the pavement, taking it stride by stride together. And if this is real, then I am all up in a frenzy, not like before when I was empty. Say that the story we tell is never ending, taking it side by side together. Are you gonna dance on the line with me? You know it's not a game or a fantasy. And I don't even know who I used to be. But nothing is the same, some things have to change now. Are you gonna dance on the line with me? You know it's not a game or a fantasy. And I don't even know who I used to be. But nothing is the same, some things have to change now, now, now.
Bro, that shit is fire. That song right there is fire. See, that's Vessel right there. That's speaking, like I said, it's speaking through a split narrative. It's kind of like a star-crossed lover speaking through a narration. What's funny is like the narrative and the way that he's speaking through these lyrics and in the way that they intertwine. I don't know why my brain made me think of it, but if you ever watched SpongeBob before, if you remember that episode when Mr. Krabs lost SpongeBob to Plankton, and when they were gambling, and SpongeBob had to go work at the Chum Bucket, and they were singing to each other, and they were, if you know, you know. But this song is purely Vessel. This is him coming from a place of, like I said, and I'm not gonna reiterate too deep, but talking about where he came from the sundowning and this place will become your doom, and then maturing and coming to a better place and take me back to Eden. I don't want to go back to that point of myself. I recognize that change is always going to be, change is inevitable, first of all, whether it be negative or positive. Positive change leads to prosperity, happiness, and love. Negativity and change leads to the grave. I don't want to go back to that point. And where I am now, I don't even recognize that aspect of who that person was. Now, I recognize that if I'm going to change positively, it's going to require me to intertwine all of the parts of myself and keep them whole. You can't become a whole person without embracing the good with the bad, because that's what life is all about. It would be naive of you to go out into the world to think that you just being purely happy-go-lucky and positive and naive and blissfully ignorant that you're going to have an easy go with things. You're going to get hurt going out there. So you have to take all of the scheming and conniving and darkness that is a part of everybody, because everybody has a bad side. You have to bring it all together to form one whole person that's able to survive out there, because the world is cutthroat. No matter where you're from, no matter who you know, no matter what relationships you find yourself in, it's a hard life to make it through. So if you want to truly take it for what it is, you have to embrace every part of yourself and let them work together to help you fucking survive. And I like that he was talking about that. I recognize that that darkness is still always going to be there. The place that I made it out of is a representation and testament to my personal strength. But if I wasn't able to get harsh with myself and tell myself what's really real and deal with all of the bullshit that I was doing, I would never be able to get here. That's the representation of making yourself work as one whole machine. So that cool. And like I said, there's always going to be a lot of obstacles in the way when you're trying to do the right thing. So he's saying, you know, sometimes I wonder if everything that we've been through is just my test, or are you the reward that's going to be at the end of all of the changes that I've been making? Yes, you can't change for somebody. I can't make you happy. I can't take you to where you want to be. But all of the work that I'm putting in, me being stubborn enough to fight for you, is you getting to the point of where I am and us getting to that better place together, the reward that's going to be at the end of it. Because life is a constant unknown. You never truly know where you're going to end up, who you're going to end up with, what love will be in your life at the end of it all. But I just hope that no matter where life takes me, because of the way that I feel for you and all of the fights and battles and wars that I'm willing to get in with and about you, that you're going to be that proverbial blessing that comes at the end of all of this hardship. So I like that song, even though it was a nice little vibe, that's truly what he was saying. That's a deep ass song. Because it's like, I don't want to go back to where I was before. That last refrain was saying, like, I just don't want to be lost again. That's something that resonates with all of us. I don't care if you tell the truth about your mental health or if you like to talk about it. Everybody knows what that shit feel like. I know you do. There's no way you made it this far into adulthood and never really had to battle with yourself. That come with the shit. That's something that I'm learning as I'm getting older. It doesn't get easier. You just get more battle tested. So yeah, that's some shit right there.
I wish I could have known that look in your eyes would echo in mine and go back out of my mind across the line. When was the last time I felt like this? Dark desire and tainted place. It's like you're dangerous to me. I notice every time we meet, I feel the ground beneath my feet giving way.
Yeah.
Won't you show me how to dance forever? Won't you show me how to dance forever?
I love that. Yeah, yeah, I'm on point. I'm on point. The last song was speaking from Vessel's perspective. This song was completely from her perspective. I love how he's using these songs to go back and forth in narrative, then giving full explanations about where they are currently. This is the most vulnerable that we've seen the character of her be. This is basically just saying that all the positivity that you try to pour into me, everything that you're teaching me, every way that you're trying to be vulnerable and help me get to that better place, or at least help me get to that place where we can try to figure it out from there together. Because Vessel's not coming from a place where he's acting like he's perfect or making it seem like he's healed. I'm just letting you know that I'm finally at a place where I'm willing to try to get there. And this is her talking about, everything that you're saying is hitting more than you know. Every time that you talk, every time that I feel your touch, every time that we get around each other and you show me just how real and how pure that love that you have for me is, I feel the ground beneath my feet giving way, and you start to expose the truth beneath this false facade. All of the love and honesty and vulnerability that he's sowing into her is cracking through that false shield that she has. It's cracking through that armor and piercing that veil that I was talking about. Because internally, even when you try to push everybody away, nobody truly wants to be unhappy. Nobody wants to be alone. Nobody wants to be stuck inside oblivion. So there's that part inside of her that every time that he talks and every time that he shows her love, it's just her in there crying out and trying to reach out to grab onto the possibility of something better, to the possibility of true love. It's very romantic in that way. I love that this album reads the way that a fairy tale would. It's kind of like he's Prince Charming and she's just stuck up in the tower. He's trying to get there and he's slaying dragons and all of these proverbial and metaphorical dragons. He's killing them. He's fighting other knights. I've talked about this and described this whole narrative in songs that I've made for my wife in the past. So that's why I love it. It's very romantic in that way. He's willing to slay any dragon to be able to get there and release you from your own thing. But the difference in this fairy tale is only you can meet me at the end of it all. I can only meet you at the door of the castle. You have to come through the door and find your way down. If you don't come outside of that castle that you created with all your trauma, all your pain, everything that you've been through in your life made this tower that grew taller and taller with every single thing that happened. I can't pierce that for you. The best I can do is make it safe for you to come outside and meet me this way. So if you're willing to come outside of that tower and let all of that shit go and let this entire structure fall behind you, we can get out of here together. And I love that she's really talking about everything that he's doing. It doesn't fall on deaf ears. She hears him. It's just all of that armor and that shield is trying to make it seem like she's still cold and heartless. But the truth is she wants to be exactly where he is. She wants to meet him and she wants to be exactly what he needs, the same way that he wants from her. That's deep. Okay. All right, you got this some shit, okay? It's the first song I ever heard from them. All right, this makes more sense already. I remember how this song goes.
Count me out like sirens, payback for the good times. Right foot in the roses, left foot on the landmine. I'm not gonna be there, tripping on the grapevine. They can sing the words while I cry into the baseline. Wear me out like Prada, devil in my stressed out by the hearsay. Guess that's what I get for trying to hide in the limelight. Guess that's what I get for having 20/20 hindsight. Everybody wants eyes on them, I just wanna hear you sing that top line. You don't think I mean it, then I understand. But I'm still glad you came, so let me see those hands. Stick to me like caramel. Walk beside me till you feel nothing as well. I'm falling free off the final parallel. The sweetest dreams are bitter, but there's no one left to tell. Too young to get bitter over it all. Too old to retaliate like before. Too blessed to be caught, ungrateful, I know.
That's a bar.
So I'll keep dancing along to the rhythm. The stage is a prison, a beautiful nightmare, a war of attrition. I'll take what I'm given, the deepest incisions. I thought I got better, but maybe I didn't. The stage is a prison, a beautiful nightmare, a war of attrition. I'll take what I'm given, the deepest incisions. I thought I got better, but maybe I didn't.
Now he bodied that shit. So, all right, cool. Let me talk to you, Pete. This is how I feel about this one, bro. So, all right, I don't know if you listen to Pink Floyd at all. Through the subs, I have somehow, I don't know how we got here. The fact that I'm drawing a narrative to fucking Pink Floyd is hilarious. If you have, though, that song is very reminiscent of the story that's being told in The Wall, where it's like Roger painting the character of Pink and how he's being overwhelmed by this new level of fame, and the fact that it triggers all of the trauma sources that come from his childhood and make him revert farther and farther back into the darkness of where he comes from, right? Perfectly explains this song. I love that now that I see it in transition, because Caramel came out before the album did, because I heard this before this album was out. What's interesting about this is pulling back the curtain of the story. Like, let's say this album was being performed on stage, right? Because that's the narrative that is giving. This is pulling the curtain back and stepping outside of the story, but recognizing that it's not a story, but it's his own real tragedy. Because first of all, the instrumentation and the music is very reminiscent of when we listen to Epic together. I don't have to explain why I say that. The lyrics, the delivery, the music, all of it sounds like the way that Jorge did the music in Epic. Correct. Now, stick with me. The fact that even the Odyssey speaks on, Grecian tragedies and talks about that, this is speaking from the perspective of his personal tragedy. It's coming out and realizing that the story that he's talking about in all of these albums is real. This is all things that have really affected him and him being vulnerable enough to pull his heart out on the stage. But damn, I'm giving everything I got to these people out here. But the things that they're worried about have nothing to do with the beauty of this story. They don't care about my pain or the confidence and boldness that it took for me to be vulnerable and pour my fucking heart out on the stage for all of you. They're worried about, and I've heard these stories, so it all resonates more now. Back when Pink Floyd was relevant, the stories were, it was different. The world was different. There was no internet and social media to destroy people's character online. But now, the fact that, Vessel and the rest of the band come out there disguised, they don't come out there as whoever he actually is. People want to dox him now, or people go on smear campaigns to talk about why they might be evil, or they want to reveal their real names, give out their addresses. Why is that what's important when I'm trying to give you the narrative and relatability of true heartbreak, true pain, true vulnerability coming from a man? You worried about who the fuck I actually am instead of focusing on the art. And that makes me feel distance from this whole fame shit. This is the exact reason why I didn't feel comfortable coming out here amongst you and bearing my heart in front of you all. But then it's him having that back and forth between maturity and the trauma that he comes from. He's reverting back to that source of feeling cold, to feeling stuck, to feeling alienated. And this is about a life that he created. So imagine all of the trauma that you've been through resurfacing through the life that you thought you were supposed to live. But I love the maturity of saying, like, I'm too young to let me read that line because it hits so different now. Too young to get bitter over it all. Too old to retaliate like before. Too blessed to be caught ungrateful. That's a fucking bar, yo. Because that's so true. I'm too young to be like that Ebenezer Scrooge old man that's just like, you fucking young people, I can't believe that this is all the fuck you care about. But I'm too old and too mature, and I'm thriving in a new place mentally. I'm trying to be a better person. So I can't punch you in your fucking face. I can't throw shit. I can't go out here and fight and destroy my life, because everything that I created, I'm too blessed to be ungrateful. Regardless of the handful of pieces of shit, because even in the most loyal cult-like fan base, there are always going to be people that are here to ruin the anonymity of what you've created. Some people use their jealousy and their trauma and their pain as a reason to feel as though they should destroy everything that you've created. You got to recognize that certain shit comes with the fame. But because of everything that I've been able to create, because of this platform, I've been able to connect with all of the good people who just resonate, the people who understand my need for privacy, the people who just want to relate to what I've been through and see me for who I am, even if they don't see me. It's not about me. The story that I'm putting out there behind this veil is intentional, because I want the story to be, I want the art to be the forefront. We live in a time where people get so caught up in image, get so caught up in the way people look, the way that people carry themselves. Vessel and the band are trying to take that whole factor out of it. It's only about the music. You don't need to know who I am. You don't need to know who I'm dating. You don't need to know where I live. You don't need to catch pictures of me walking on the beach. You don't need to catch pictures of me getting arrested and fucking walking and running around drunk and getting into fights, fighting paparazzi. Fuck all that bullshit. He's saying fuck all of the typical celebrity lifestyle shit. The art is supposed to be first and foremost, and that's what I created. I'm too blessed to have all of the great people that truly love me and love this art to be angry about it. I can't blame the whole for the sins of a few, if that makes any kind of sense. But this, I love this. This is taking the curtain back and letting people know that, yo, I've been performing my fucking heart out in front of you people, and there's some pieces of shit out here that want to destroy me. Damn. Fuck. You get those voices running in your head like, man, that's why I told you. You should have just stayed by yourself. I told you the world was cold. I told you nobody loved you. That's that devil talking in the back of your head, letting you know, like, man, see, this is what they give you. You go out there and share all of these stories about your growth, and you talk about your suicide attempt. Look at all of the vulnerable shit you sharing with these people, and they fucking laughing at you. They posting you on TikTok. They posting who your family is. This is what you asked for? This is the reason you want to be positive? Man, fuck them. You should just disappear. Stop making music. Man, you don't need all of this shit. Let's just go back to where we were before. Come on, come talk to me. That's how it goes. That's how it goes, bro. I feel like if you're a man of faith or if you have any faith at all, God and the devil are constantly in a battle for you. Every time you're being blessed, the devil doesn't want to see you prosper. He doesn't want to see happiness. He wants everybody to be miserable. He wants everybody to have evil intentions towards each other. So when you make prosperity or walk towards prosperity in your life, he'll throw wrenches in the game to try to throw you off course. But you have to decide if you're going to trust that the path that you're going is going to lead you to a better place, even with the obstacles and all. Because like we talked about a few songs back, there's not going to be any easy journey. Just because you decide to get better doesn't mean that the world around you changes. You shouldn't expect it just because you're deciding to be happy that life is going to get easier somehow for the first time ever. Life is still going to be hard. You're just going to try to be a positive beacon and light through all of the darkness. That's the only difference. The devil's still going to try to tempt you. The devil's still going to throw people in life that make you feel less than. The devil's still going to throw examples of what you've been through that make you revert back to who you were. But it's on you to trust your faith enough to recognize that all of the changes that I made are worth it regardless. Fuck it. And I speak so in depth about these things because that's me talking to myself. I deal with a lot of those issues. I try to be a better person every day than I ever was before. I'm at a point in my life where, bro, I'm about to turn 30 myself. I'm not going to put your business out there, of course, but we've had that conversation. I know that that's a big transition in life. I'm married now. Me and my wife are in that conversation that if we're going to do the baby thing, it's just like, I'm at that point in my life where I recognize, man, you came so fucking far. I knew what it felt like to push women away. I knew what it felt like to feel like I didn't deserve to be loved, or I would never end up in the position that I'm in now. But one day I made a decision that I didn't want to be lonely anymore. I wanted to have somebody that was truly for me, that God made perfectly for me. I wanted to be better for myself. I didn't want to be fucking miserable every day. Now, I still have my days where I go through it and I still feel like I'm not worthy. That imposter syndrome is so fucking real. But every day I try to wake up and remind myself that everything you're doing, every risk that you take getting on camera and running your fucking mouth for extended amounts of time, I'm sure y'all sick of hearing me talk, but I resonate with those stories. I put myself out there. I give my opinion on things that people care about. I get a lot of negative comments where people say mean shit or people say racist shit or people talk a lot of shit. But I recognize that the reason why I'm doing it, my opportunity to have a platform where I could talk about mental health and share my understanding of art from an artist's perspective. That's the beautiful part. Fuck all of the people who got something bad to say. Fuck the negativity that's going on in the back of my head. I do deserve my wife. I do deserve to be happy. I do deserve to build a platform. I do deserve to have dope ass supporters like Pete. It's an everyday struggle. And I recognize that, yes, I'm too young to get bitter over it all. I'm too old to retaliate and fight like I did before. But I'm too blessed to be caught ungrateful. Man, I could talk for an hour. That shit's crazy, and that got a whole new meaning on it. If you haven't seen my initial reaction to Caramel, go check that out, Pete. And then, yeah, you'll see the difference in the way that this grew for me in transition. But I resonate with that personally a lot. Title track.
Come now, swing wide those gates, 'cause I have paid my penance kindly, waiting time for judgment day. Somehow I knew my blood. Deep down into the mind. What good is all this talk of wings when there is nothing left above? Have you been waiting long for me? Have you been waiting long? No matter how we feel, we've got a taste for one another and a few good years to kill. No matter what is real, it seems that even in Arcadia you walk beside me still. Have you been waiting long for me? Have you been waiting long for me?
I love that one. This is a dope ass album. This is a dope ass album.
I wanna be a provider. Garnet you with silk like a spider. Roll or die, you bet I'm a rider. You're out of shell, you're a secret insider.
What?
I wanna be a provider. Your guiding hand, your final decider. That bit of fury of fire, stoke your desire. Just let me know that you're mine. I wanna be a provider. I wanna be a provider. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanna be a your fingers focus shut on my skin. Go away and this time I can give you what you want. Our bodies converse like old friends, exchanging the yes in silence, with something unsaid on both ends. Surely we know the difference.
Yo.
I wanna be a provider.
This shit crazy.
Gonna you with silk like a spider. Roll or die, you bet I'm a rider. Your outer shell, your secret insider. And your fingers focus shut on my skin. Go away and this time I can give you what you want. Not soldier, I can get so right, even in the daylight. I can give you
Man, cut it out. No, bro. That shit crazy right there. That shit is crazy. Yo. We'll talk about it at the end. This shit.
Well, I've been waking up under blades, blue blossom days. If only Damocles would hit me back. No alabaster carvings or faces on a farthing would prevent my head from fading to black. And it feels like falling into the sea from outer space in seconds to me. And I play discordant days on repeat until they look like harmony.
Ew.
When the river runs dry and the curtain is cold, how will I know if I can't see the bottom? Come up for air and choke on it all. No one else knows that I've got a problem. What if I can't get up and stand Well, I know I should be touring. I know these chords are boring, but I can't always be killing the game. No golden grand pianos or voices from the shadows will do anything but feel the same. And it feels like falling into the deep from somewhere way up over the peaks. And I play this chord and days on repeat until the tape runs out on me. When the river runs dry and the curtain is cold, how will I know if I can't see the bottom? Come up for air and choke on it all. No one else knows that I've got a problem. What if I can't get up and stand tall? What if the diamond days are all gone? And who will I be when the empire falls? Wake up alone and I'll be forgotten. Nobody told me I'd be begging for relief when what is silent to you feels like it's screaming to me.
Bars.
Well, nobody told me I'd get tired of myself when it all looks like heaven, but it feels like hell. When the river runs dry and the curtain is cold, how will I know if I can't see the bottom? Come up for air and choke on it all. No one else knows that I've got a problem. What if I can't get up and stand tall? What if the diamond days are all gone? And who will I be when the empire falls? Wake up alone and I'll be forgotten.
I'm not gonna lie, that one almost caught me. That one almost caught me, but it didn't. Growth. That that one almost caught me. God damn. I I don't know how many songs are left, so what I will say is I'll talk about it more at the end. But I love how those two songs are reminiscent of the same ones back in the beginning. They tell the exact same story. They're continuing with that same narrative. On one side, you got Vessel saying, I want to provide this level of room where you have the growth and potential to be everything that you can be, where you have the room to break down and be destroyed and rebuild back better with my help. I want to be able to provide the space. I want to be able to provide the love. I want to provide that comfort that you need. And I love how that last record, from her perspective, is really just talking about, I can see it. Bro, the armor is cracked open. At this point, she's through that tower door. She's coming down the stairs. That song and the instrumentation feels like when you're trying to run into the arms of somebody. She's running down those spiral stairs at a tower, but the voice in the back of her head is letting her know you're not worthy. If you go out there, the song lyrics are the voice in the back of her fucking head, bro. She running down the stairs in slow motion and is saying, it looks like heaven out there, but it all feels like hell. All of the things that you see positivity in, or as they put it, all of the things that are silent to you are screaming at me right now. That's the voices. Who am I going to be? As she's running down the stairs, you can see the armor falling. You can see parts of the shield falling. You can see it all shedding and coming off, and she's fully revealing herself for the first time in the story of these 4 albums. We're truly getting to know this character. We're truly getting to see this change and this emergence from her, if you will. But as she's running down the stairs and all of the stuff is falling off, that voice is saying, you know, if I truly come out, if I truly let it all go, who will I be at the end of it all? How will I know what matters? How will I be able to rebuild myself? What if everything that you're saying isn't true? What if you gaslighting me to let myself feel free and I end up heartbroken all over again? And it becomes the reoccurring story that I've always dealt with. Will I be able to make it back this time? If I truly leave this tower and the structure falls down, do I have enough in me to be able to make it back? That's it, man. I resonate with that song. And if you know me through all the conversations that I have with you guys and as vulnerable as I like to be, you know exactly why that song resonates with me. That's a deep ass song. That's probably my favorite one on the project so far.
I wanted you to know I've learned to live without it. And even though it's cold and now I no longer feel surrounded, and you never listen to me, and that's the thing I tell the others. You were my Harlequin bride, I was your undercover lover, but no, you never saw me naked. You wouldn't even touch me, except if you were wasted. But you were trying your best, and that's the thing I tell the others. I was your robot companion. You were my favorite color, and oh, call upon the person that tried to turn my salvation for you. Someone who didn't mind the push, pull by the games. Someone who wasn't always crying on the journey back. Someone who didn't feel the low blows either way. But I was waiting for you when all along it was you with the countdown kill switch, and it was me with the blindfold on. I was trying my best, and that's the thing I tell the mirror. I was a different energy. Still see you when the lights get low. Still hear you when I'm on my own. The parasites and the nightmares calling my name like this one's for you and your problems. Your good day job, your bad karma. What are you afraid of? The same drama, show me what you're made of. Cause you talk about your constant pain like I ain't got none. And I've learned to live beside it. And even though it's over now, I will always be reminded.
I love that. That song changes everything in the coolest of ways. That was a master class. Master class. That was the song that pokes a hole in the fairy tale. I've talked about it a lot throughout the course of the last album and this one. When he talks so much about wanting to help you get to that point where you make it past all of your bullshit and you let yourself get to the point where you're willing to make that change. I want you to be able to find some semblance of peace, even if your story doesn't proceed with me in it. You've heard me say that so many times, and that song is that, bro. That's just that realization that just because she's shedding all of that armor, she dropped the shield, she came outside of her castle. That I painted this whole scenario for y'all in this video, so we're gonna talk about it. Even though she made it out of all of that, Prince Charming doesn't always get the girl in these stories. What if every sacrifice that I made and everything that I did, all the dragons I slayed, ill bars, you hear me rumming? What if everything that I did was for the betterment of us, but there was no us at the other side of this? What if it was ordained on me to help you through your storms just for the sake of reiterating how far I've come? What if my sense of closure in this love and relationship that we had was the purpose that God put on my heart to help you get through it and find who you are? You don't always get rewarded for that. The reward should be all of the progress that you made along the way. They always say you can't worry so much about the destination or where it's going, or else you'll miss the best part. The journey of being the person who healed themselves, being on the journey of recognizing that you were able to make it to the point where you were able to help somebody find themselves again. That's the reward. What if it's not meant for us at the end of the story to be together? What if your healing leads you to something that's void of all of the pain that we have? I love the line where he said, nothing can make me forget all of the memories. Nothing can make me forget all of the places that this endless tornado and cycle has sent us as a couple. Maybe this was our closure. Maybe now that we're healed and we're better, we need to take what we've learned and take it to that next situation. Take it to that next scenario where we get a fresh start and opportunity to start from where we are and not have to live with a constant reminder of everything that we've lost and gained to get here. What if they ran out of that tower and ran right past you? Man, that's a fucking masterclass right there. That poked a hole in it. That was a great misdirection. That was a great one.
When you plucked me from the grotto, Silent like a supermodel. When I would wake in staccato. No light link in a bottle. Just one eye on the target and 2 bricks on the throttle. I know now that even if I am frozen, timeless as a ghost in my nightmares of the ocean. The precipice I'm approaching. Well, you will empty the darkness. You will keep me in motion. I know now. Infinite buzz washing over me at last. Feel the method in my madness. Feel the glory in my wrath.
That felt like the last song. Okay. We talked so much throughout the course of the album that I don't feel like there's much to say in the way of, explaining the album. I felt like what it really was focused on was giving that sense of the duality. This was a big realization for Vessel, and it also was a big realization for the character of the woman in the story. We've got to know them so much through Vessel over the course of these last 4 albums. But this was the amalgamation of everything that they've been through separately, everything that they've learned, all of the ways they progressed, all of the way that they regressed, and all of the ways that they got to a place of realization that, we can be each other's blessing, but I have to be mature enough to recognize that not every fairy tale ends in Prince Charming getting the princess. Not everything ends with us needing to be together, even if that was everything that we fought so hard for, everything that we felt like we were growing for, and everything that we felt like we needed to save ourselves from the pits of hell for, and everything that we felt like we needed to save each other for. It's coming to that realization that when you ask those questions, all of the growth that I've done is not for you, it's for me. All of the ways that I've healed myself, all of the places that I've come, how far I've come and the person I've decided to be, I have to own that for myself. Even if it's something that you won't be here for, I have to be okay with that. At this point, I've brought down heaven for you. I've given you everything that you needed in terms of the tools to understand the same things that I've come to understand. You've come to a place where you've ran out of that tower, you shedded the armor, you shedded the shield. You're finally getting to a place where you're open to exploring the possibilities of who you could be if you allow yourself to look beyond all of your pain and trauma. But I recognize being a hero is beautiful, but what's the point of being a hero if I can't save myself first and foremost? I was Googling what Arcadia was because I knew that there had to be something reminiscent of, like, I know the Garden of Eden, so I was able to paint that narrative very easily, but I've never heard, I assumed Arcadia was going to be like some type of Garden of Eden type of metaphor. So it's saying like it's something like a utopia, something that's representative of a mountainous region, basically was described in the cover art of the project. Now that he's made it to Arcadia, now that he's made it to his utopia, now that he's made it to his own semblance of internal peace, that's what Arcadia is. Everything that we find, everything that we desire to feel inside in terms of peace and self-understanding and self-reflection and discernment and understanding different phases of life. Now that I'm here, I'm not willing to sacrifice that for anybody. Now that I've made it this far, regardless of all of the things that you're going to go through, because in the last album, she has to still go through those phases too. You've just got to that place of where you're in the starting grounds of where he was at the beginning of Take Me Back to Eden. You still have to go through those feelings of false bravado, falling back into your sadness, feeling sorry for yourself, figuring out discernment, understanding what's important, figuring out that your emotions aren't who you are. You still have to go through those things. And I can't be a victim of you still having to figure out who you are. You still having to run through these storms and find yourself to be strong enough at the end of it. Now that I've found my own personal peace, I love you, but I've done my part for you. Now I have to sheathe my sword and understand that sometimes you just have to walk away and save yourself. I'll always love you, and I did everything that I promised you would be. I gave you the ultimate act of love by being here for you through it all. He's not taking credit for how far she's come. He's not taking credit for how strongly he loved her, and that giving her the confidence to make it to this point. But he's also taking accountability for the fact that that's your personal peace, and I can't take ownership of that. I can't make that about me. I can't make that journey about myself when I'm still trying to figure out how to stick on a path of mine. I love that the Infinite Baths is reminiscent of listening to Bloodsport. And that's recognizing that you can't control the narrative. Sometimes it's something that you just can't win. The way that life is, it's always going to ebb and flow. You're always going to have those uh, peaks and valleys. Everything is going to go up, it's going to go down. We're going to be happy, we're going to be sad, we're going to be happy, we're going to cry. Everything has duality in life, and I can't control that. Understanding that life is a blood sport and it's something that you can't win. You can't get the best of life because, like I said, it's a learning game. You'll be working on yourself till you die. But I love that he's man enough to recognize that as much as I love you and as far as we come and everything that we've done, all the ways that we've hurt each other, I can't keep doing a cycle. It's not worth it. Now that I finally figured out how to be grateful for my struggles, I'm not willing to sacrifice that for us anymore. I'm always going to love you and I'm always going to be here, but I'm not willing to lose it because you lose yourself again. That's a deep ass album. I feel like that album brought it all full circle. I feel like after that, whatever they do next should be something completely different. Like, this was a perfect final act. I feel like that was the curtain close that kind of tied everything together. It brought all the loose ends together. It was emotional. I love that it told the story of her questioning herself and showing that, because he used metaphors of her being a mirror and her being a reflection of him in past albums. I love that all of the ways that she explained her internal struggles and trying to see the vision of where she could go. I love how it always reverted back to what we knew Vessel to deal with in the past albums. So it makes me happy to see that that journey in similar directions and how the way it still is that fork in the road that are sending them on two different paths. Who knows if they find themselves back together later down the road, or who knows where life is going to take us. But all I know is I can't keep sacrificing my own happiness for your love. It's just not worth it. That's a very mature and evolved way to look at it. And I feel like that's something that's very reminiscent of something that everybody who's been through heartbreak has dealt with. It might not be to the same extent, or it might not be as dramatic of storytelling, but if you've ever been in love and if you've ever had to trauma bond, well, if you ever trauma bonded with somebody and saw how sour that can turn, this is a perfect representation. This was a beautiful album. And I feel like all of the albums together have to be judged as a 10 out of 10 together. Like, as a package deal, I feel like you can't listen to one of the albums without the other. You can't listen to them out of sequence. All of them together paint this perfect narrative, and I feel like this is the final act. Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts on the album were. Let me know if along the way you agree with my thoughts and the process and the way that I went through it. Let me know what you took away from it if it's something completely different. And let me know what you would rate the experience of these Sleep Token projects. Do you like them all individually, or do you feel like me where it's all a package? Now that you've heard it together, this feels like this tied up all the loose ends. Let me know what you think. And again, shout out to Peter. I appreciate you. We finally finished the Sleep Token catalog, and I look forward to whatever's to come next. Who knows, man? Pete, if you ever come to America, or if I ever come over there, we might have to go to a concert. We might have to go to something together, bro. Let me know what you think about that. But if you are watching this on YouTube and this ended up becoming copyright free for whatever reason, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your post notification bell so you stay in tune every time we drop another banger like this one. As always, I'll put the QR code to the Patreon right here. Shout out to all of our beautiful patrons. Your continued support makes it overly possible for us to be able to sit down, have fun, and just talk about deep themes of art, the way that you love this channel for, the way that you love this platform, and the way that we're able to sit here and connect on a familial basis. I always appreciate sitting here talking to y'all. I think that's why I don't really get self-conscious about getting long-winded with my analysis of stuff. But yeah, I really do appreciate you guys. And to all of the YouTube subscribers watching this, I hope you really enjoyed this, because this was dope as fuck, man. I love it, and I'm excited to see what comes next. That's all I got, man. I'm not even going to talk too much after that. We covered so much in the album. Let's just move forward. But until next time, I go by the name of 5, and this was Even in Arcadia by Sleep Token. Peace.
How does this go? You want wanna know. You've never been here before. Go with the flow. We'll take it slow. No need to rush. They don't got